Time here this evening, they'll creep down into turn number 3 and 4. There's the cone. The starting line, green flag is in the air. Good looking start for our first heat race of the evening. Ryan Shanahan going to drive to the outside where he started. Looks to the outside of Will Gates. Gates going to hold him off though as they work off turn number 2. Now Shanahan drives by on the outside. He'll take over the early lead down into turn number 3 and 4. Gates settles into the number 2 spot. Here comes the number 6 of Gilmore. Gilmore slides to the bottom of the racetrack. Couldn't make it stick as he tried to get underneath Will Gates in that number 83 machine. Mike White's going to battle back on the outside. The number 1 out of Norwood, New York. He'll tiptoe off the top side, and we got a car around. Caution flag is going to come out. Well, we got a hood laying right down here on the front stretch. That is going to be the reason for the caution. Very quickly scoring lap number 1. To go to the outside on this restart. Leader does have lane choice. He has chosen the outside of the Speedway. He'll be the one to fire first when we go down to turn number 3 and 4. And he's going to get right about there. Shanahan will pound the throttle. Green flag is back in the air. Shanahan's going to hit that cushion right in the middle of the Speedway. He'll take that lead back as they work off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Now Will Gates is going to get right into the side of Stephen Gilmore. Got him sideways. They both get away, but picking up a lot of ground on that was Ryan Gates in the number 97 as he just drove right by. Now he's going to get into the Gilmore ride. One car stopped over on the backstretch out of turn number 2. That is the 66 of Luke Hall, and he is rolling slowly down the backstretch, so caution flag will wave one more time. So a couple of quick cautions getting things started here this evening. Each of their production lines are inspected a minimum of 3 times a week, and they participate in third-party inspection program. Their quality control program is approved by the Wood Trust Council of America and Trust Plate Institute. Fabco in Watertown, we go back to green. The Fabco Pro Stocks right back at it one more time. Stephen Gilmore looks to the outside of Ryan Shanahan. Shanahan lost the handle for a second. Mike White took advantage, got a nose underneath him, but Shanahan's able to hold him off. But Gilmore, your leader, in the number 6. He'll take him down into turn number 3 and 4. Gilmore goes up the hill right through the middle of the Speedway. Shanahan chases him off turn number 2. Mike White settling back into the third position with Ryan Gates chasing him. Gates goes up to the top of the racetrack, has to square it off, and he's going to lose a little bit of traction on those first 3 cars as they pull down the backstretch, headed towards turn number 3 and 4. Gilmore, a 2-car advantage over Shanahan. They'll work off turn number 4, racing down the front. We're halfway home at the stripe for qualifying heat number 1. Shanahan trying to close that gap, wags the tail on the dog right in the middle of turn number 2. So Gilmore able to open up about a 4-car advantage down the backstretch. Mike White still trying to reel in those first 2 cars. And again, Ryan Gates with a little ill handling issue, backs off a little bit farther from the field, has to get the car back underneath him. And you can see that car bobble off turn number 4 right up next to the concrete wall. Gates picking that car up. That is the old Ryan Shanahan ride that Ryan Gates driving. So good to have that car back out on the Speedway. And Ryan getting his feet wet here with that new ride. Off turn number 4, parallel sticks will be up 1 more mile to go. Stephen Gilmore showing the way. Ryan Shanahan second. Third is Mike White, and fourth will belong to Ryan Gates. That lineup's going to stay the same as they'll exit turn number 2 down the long backstretch here at Can-Am. They'll head into turn number 3 and 4. Mike Leclerc is going to have the white flag in hand this time when they come off the north end of the Speedway. White flag is waving. 1 more trip around. Just 4 more turns of the wheel for the number 6 of Stephen Gilmore. Gilmore trying the high side again. Gets right up against that cushion as they begin to roll that up a little bit higher around the Speedway. 5-car length distance out in front of Ryan Shanahan. Just a couple of more left-hand turns. He'll bring it right through the middle of the Speedway. Off turn number 4, checkered flag will be waving. It'll be Stephen Gilmore picking up the win. Ryan Shanahan second. Third will be Mike White in the number 1 machine. He'll be followed back to the line by Ryan Gates in the number 97.
All cars to the scales. All 4 cars to the scales.
Down down the front stretch here at Can-Am, and this is the way they are going to go. Number 1, the inside, that is the number 3 machine of Rick Duskus out of Watertown. He'll sit on the pole. Outside him will be Sean Kirby, his son, in the number 3K machine. Sid Harmer Jr. back with us once again after missing a couple of weeks in the number 14R out of Governor. He'll start inside row number 2. Outside him, the Pink Panther, the X15, back at Can-Am. Been a long time since we've seen this car on the Speedway. Out of Ogdensburg, New York, that is Tyler Bushy. And then inside row number 3, that'll be Tim Bailey in the number 7X machine, and outside him, Kevin Federley in the 57K. Well, missing 2 cars from the lineup. Tim Bailey and Kevin Federley both not making the call for this heat race as we get ready to fire them back to life down here. Turn number 3 and 4, qualifying heat number 2. Rick Duskus comes off the bottom, goes right up to the middle of the speedway. Sean Kirby drove up to the top of the hill to avoid contact. That's going to allow Sid Harmer to slide underneath him. Harmer right into that number 2 spot as they swing through turn number 3 and 4. Now, a few weeks back, Sid Harmer, who's not racing on a regular basis here because of a new career path, was out here, got the win, and I'll tell you, for the last 4 laps of that race, he and Rick Duskus ran side by side and almost touched a couple of times, put on an amazing show. Talked to Rick Duskus about that earlier tonight, and he said it was one of the funnest races he'd had in a long time, and here they are at the front of the field again, doing battle off turn number 4. Duskus comes off turn number 4, he'll bring him down in front, number 14 is Sid Harmer. Now they're going to switch lanes over in turn number 1 and 2. Harmer goes way up the hill, has to backpedal just a little bit. Ricky Duskus able to pull out by 2 car lengths down the backstretch. Sean Kirby trying to chase that battle down to turn number 3 and 4. And we said Tyler Bushy's first time here. He's been running a bunch of races up to the Brockville, Ontario Speedway. A lot shorter track up there. So Tyler trying to figure out what gear package to use here and how to get the car around. They'll figure it out before long, and they'll be competitive here. Off turn number 2, we will work off down the backstretch. Rick Duskus continuing to show the way. Sid Harmer looking right at the back bumper. Now Harmer just drives underneath him, takes a real gutsy move, but he slides up the hill, and here comes Duskus back to the inside. So they switched lanes and went the other way. Duskus trying to get back to the inside. Harmer's going to hold him off as they work out turn number 2 down the backstretch. Harmer made a bonsai move, slipped right to the top of the track. Rick got back underneath him. Duskus trying to close that gap over in turn number 3 and 4 again. They come racing down the front stretch, score lap number 5 at the line. Sid Harmer 2 car lengths out in front. Rick Duskus trying to run a groove, half a groove lower. Off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Sean Kirby holding on to the number 3 position. They'll be followed by Tyler Bushy. They go down into turn number 3 and 4 this time. Parallel flags will be coming out. Just 2 more trips around the speedway as they come racing down in front. Harmer trying to run and hide, but Rick Duskus not letting him out of his sights just yet as they work into turn number 2. Duskus comes down the hill about a half a groove lower again. That distance stays about 3 car lengths down the backstretch into turn number 3 and 4. Duskus trying to close that gap. Sid Harmer brings him down the front stretch again at 2.5, 3 car lengths out in front with the white flag waving. Just one more trip around the speedway. This time they come off turn number 2. Duskus is going to get a good run, but Harmer gets a better run off the turn, got a great shot off the corner, opens up about a 4-car advantage. Checkered flag will be waving the second qualifying heat of Fabco Pro Stocks here this evening. And it will be Sid Harmer Jr. out of Governor picking up the win. He'll be followed by Rick Duskus to the line. Sean Kirby did not finish. Kirby pulled off the top of turn number 3, headed back towards the pit area, and the number 15 of Tyler Bushy will round out the field of Fabco Pro Stocks for our first 2 qualifying events of the evening.